how's it going? It's me, Megan, and I am back with another video. If you guys are new to my channel, I am a full-time reseller on Poshmark and a few other platforms, but mostly Poshmark, and here on YouTube, I like to make reseller content. I'll do sold videos, I'll do unboxings, I'll do all that good stuff, so if that's something you guys are interested in, please make sure to like and subscribe, and that way you'll never miss one of my videos. So I know it's been a little while, but I'm getting back into my What Sold Sunday videos. I'm actually going to be going over the first 2 weeks of sales from February, and then next week I'll go into like my second 2 full weeks of February sales. So really I'll be dipping a little bit into the end of January and then my first 2 weeks of February. So January 29th through February 11th. I will say my February sales have not been quite as good so far as my January sales were, but that is fine. I have had a few little vacations, it feels like, already in February. So there has been some days where I haven't been fully able to get into my reselling. Last weekend, my husband had the Monday off, so we actually went down to Disneyland. We drove down and we spent a couple of days there to celebrate like an early Valentine's Day, and I hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day. And our anniversary, our dating anniversary, is actually tomorrow. So we're gonna go to the movies and have like a late lunch and then go into the city tomorrow to celebrate that because he has another long weekend. We've been dating for 7 years, which feels crazy. Doesn't feel like it's been that long. We actually met when we were both studying abroad in college doing the same program. Semester at sea. Maybe I'll post put up a little photo of us from that. I feel like we look like such little kids, but yeah, 7 years tomorrow, which is insane. But anyway, yeah, it's been a pretty slow month, but I didn't get to cover all of the last of my January sales. And I have had some good sales, so I am excited to share this with you guys. So I'm gonna get into it, and sorry if I sound today like I have more than of a lisp than I usually do, but I like hurt my tongue eating salt and vinegar chips, which I haven't had in like years, so sorry about that. We're starting with January 29th, which was a Sunday, and I actually only had one sale. I didn't end January with great sale days either, which is fine, but a little disappointing to end the month. But anyway, I had one sale. It was these Seychelles, which is the brand, snake print mules. I don't fully remember buying these. I definitely got them back when I was living in Portland, so I had them for a little bit. They were really cute. I've had good luck with this brand. It occasionally is sold at Anthropologie, and it's a pretty pricey brand to begin with, but I don't know. These just weren't getting a lot of attention. They were like new, but yeah, I've been sitting on them for a long time. So when someone offered me $25, I decided to accept, and after fees, I made $20. Then the next day, January the 30th, Monday, I had one sale as well, and this was actually from a FLYP consignment. So I didn't get too much from them, but they were these Steven New York slides, really cute. I was really hoping to get a little bit more, but Steven New York, I think, is like a lower end line of Steve Madden. Maybe a little bit higher end than Madden Girl, but it's still not like expensive. They end up selling for $18. After Posh fees, I made $14.40, and then after FLYP consignment fees, I made $5.40. And then January 31st, Tuesday, the last day of the month, I had one sale again, and it was actually these Figs cargo pants. I've been finding the brand Figs actually a lot recently. I remember people talking so good about it, and then I didn't find it for such a long time. And then I found it again a lot recently, but I've been a little bit picky about it because the first time I ever found Figs, they did not sell well. So I really need to be better about looking up comps from like that specific style. And a lot of the times Figs has a style code on the tag, so you can look it up in the store pretty easily. I feel like their joggers might do a little bit better. I did find a pair of their joggers, but they ended up being men's, and I don't think they're getting as much attention as my women's pieces. But anyway, these actually sold pretty quickly. I got these for, I think, $10, which is average cost of goods around here for me at these thrift stores. But they did sell quickly, which was great. They sold for $40, and then after fees, I made $30.28. For those that are not familiar, Figs is like a scrubs brand, like hospital wear. Then Wednesday, the 1st of February, I had 4 sales, so I actually did start off February on a good foot, which is great. I sold these Levi's men's denim joggers. I have recently been doing my inventory sheets, so I have it better categorized, and I could clearly see, you know, what I've had, like what items I've had since 2020, and these happen to be one of them. I really liked these pants. They were Levi's, but they were like a jogger knit pant. They were really cute, and I really thought that they would do better, but I've had them since 2020. I think I got them in a THREDUP mystery box, or maybe even at the bins. So I've had them for forever, and I needed to get rid of them. So I lowered the price, and they sold pretty quickly after that. They sold for $13, and after fees I made $8.33. Okay, and then I sold these Spanx cargo skinny pants. I found these at a local Goodwill not too long ago, maybe like a month or two ago. I was hoping they would sell a little bit faster and get a little bit more attention, but they are like a skinny cargo pant, and even though they're Spanx and in a good size, I just don't think they're the like trendiest pair of pants ever. But I am glad they sold, and they did sell for a good price. They ended up selling for $60, and after fees I made $46.28, and again I spent probably about $10 on those. Then I sold this City Chic romper. You might remember I found this pretty early on when I moved to the Bay Area at the bins. I want to say that it was here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was here, not Portland. Anyway, I was really excited. I've heard good things about this brand. I recently saw it, I think at Nordstrom Rack when I was there last. And their stuff can do well. Their sizing is weird. This was a size medium, but then when I looked it up, it was really like a size 18, I think, 16 or 18. So you might want to double check the sizing when you get a piece if you find it and you want to sell it. Comps are really good. I actually had this listed at 50 for a long time, but I did get at the bins, and it was taking a little while to sell. So when someone sent me an offer of 30, I decided to just accept. But this brand can do well. I'm not saying everything from this brand is going to do well, but especially if you find it at the bins, it'd probably be worth, you know, taking and trying it out. But it sold for 30, and then after fees I made 24. And the last thing I sold on Wednesday was from a flip lot again. It was this Denim and Supply sweater. I think Denim and Supply is like a sub-brand of Ralph Lauren, if I'm not mistaken. But again, it's not like an expensive line of theirs. I'm not even really sure where it sold. I didn't really think this was gonna sell, but it ended up selling for $14. After Posh fees, I made $9.33, and then after flip consignment fees, I made $2.33. And then February 2nd, that Thursday, I actually had 6 sales, so another really good day of sales. I sold this new tag BCBG Generation white mini dress. I got this in, I want to say my most recent bulk box, which I got like last summer from THREDUP. I'm still selling some of those things. It had not a stain. It had some dirt on like the inner lining of the dress that was kind of hard to see, but I noted it. It was still new tags, and it was originally, I think, kind of expensive. And white mini dresses are really popular. People are always, like brides are always looking for like a bunch of white dresses for all their different events that they're gonna do, their bachelorette parties, their engagement parties, their, what else do they do? Rehearsal dinners, stuff like that. So they're still pretty trendy. So I decided to list it. It did take a while to sell, but it ended up selling for $27, and after fees I made $19.88. And I definitely would never go out of my way to pick up the brand BCBG Generation. It's never really done very well for me. This is probably the best like profit I've gotten from this brand, but it was like, get newer tags and like a cute trendy style. I wouldn't even really pick up BCBG Max Aria unless I'm still sending it to THREDUP, because that brand does well on there if you're selling to THREDUP still. And also if it's like a really cute and modern style, I'll probably pick it up, because that brand is also pretty expensive to begin with. It just doesn't do very well in the resale market for me. Then I sold these Allbirds Gray Tree Runners. I think my mom actually gave me these, so hi mom, thanks for these. I want to say these for my mom. I've been finding Allbirds a lot recently. So it was either from her or from like a local trip that I made to one of my Goodwills. These, I love to pick up Allbirds. They don't do like outstanding. I feel like they used to do a lot better, but I still am consistently getting about $40 for them, which is great. These sold for $40, and then after fees I made $32. Then I sold these Billabong pink joggers. These were from my sister-in-law. She gave me a bunch of clothes she was getting rid of at the end of last year, and I've been selling through them, and they've actually been doing really well. Billabong, I've mentioned a lot, is a pretty good bread and butter brand for me. It's like a beachy brand, and it's still really trendy with like young people. That, Volcom, O'Neill, brands like that. These ended up selling for $12, then after fees I made $6.37. Then I sold these Lululemon sweatpant leggings, and if you saw my most recent bins haul video that I just posted on Friday, you might remember these. I got these recently at the bins. I had a really great bins trip, luckily, at the end of January, and I found a few Lululemon pieces. I wasn't able to figure out the name of these leggings, but they were so high quality. And sometimes, I mentioned in that video, if I can't find the name of the like Lululemon piece, I'm never really expecting it to get too much for them, but they were so high quality. My neighbor's leaving their apartment right now, and they probably think I'm being really weird. The problem with my windows is that they like point straight across at my neighbors, and they can also probably hear me. And they see me filming videos, I'm sure, all the time, and they're probably like, who does this girl think she is? But anyway, these were just so high quality, and like a unique thing from Lululemon that I really haven't come across, which is like a sweatpant legging, and I couldn't describe it any other way. But they did sell really fast, and they sold really well. They sold for $40, and then after fees I made $32. Then I sold these new at Tag Abercrombie & Fitch boyfriend jeans. These were in a 14 short. I found these at Savers, I want to say, not too long ago. I was really excited that they were new at Tags. They were a modern Abercrombie & Fitch style, which is doing really well for me right now when I find those jeans. They ended up selling for $40, and after fees I made $30.28. And then the last thing I sold on Thursday were these Madewell woven sandals. These came from a recent Madewell/J.Crew mystery shoebox that I got. I think I've already profited and made a little of my money back, so the profit from these is all profit. I think I've sold maybe 4 pairs out of the 10 from that box, so that's good. These end up selling for $40, and after fees I made $32. Then on Friday the 3rd, I had 3 sales. I sold this Anthropologie Maeve Shorebird skirt. I actually really do like to sell skirts. Maybe I don't like to sell skirts, but I like to buy skirts because I think they're very cute. They still don't sell very well for me. I think a lot of resellers stay away from skirts completely, and I understand that. But sometimes they do really well for me. I must have found this, I think, at a local Goodwill. I love picking up Anthropologie skirts specifically. And I loved the print on this skirt. It had like seagulls on it. It ended up selling for $44, and then after fees I made $32.52. My neighbor just got back. We made eye contact. Then I sold these new at Tag Lane Bryant pajama shorts. I got these in a THREDUP fun box a long time ago, because it's been a very long time since I've gotten one of those boxes from THREDUP. A rescue box in general, but specifically their fun boxes. They're just not as good as they used to be, so I'm not really interested in their rescue boxes currently. But these sold for $17, and then after fees I made $10.92. And then the last thing I sold on Friday was an Apartment 9 purple plaid scarf that I believe I also got in a THREDUP fun box. I don't really sell scarves. I have found a few at the bins that were like pretty high quality, like wool. One was from ModCloth, one was Ibex, and those sold well. But usually scarves don't do very well for me, and I don't think they're very interesting, but this ended up selling for $10, and after fees I made $7.05. Then February 4th, which was a Saturday, I had 3 sales. I sold this vintage Oregon Seaside quarter zip. This was my own sweatshirt. I never really wore it too much. I think I found it at the bins, and I decided to keep it, but I haven't really worn it very much because it didn't look good on me. It's so cute and, you know, such a great piece to have when I was living in Oregon, but I just never really wore it. So it ended up selling for $25 on Poshmark, and after fees I made $20. Then I sold this new tag black headband, really cute. Also got out of a fun box, had for forever. Ended up selling for $6, and after fees, I made $3.05. And then the last thing I sold on Saturday was this Roxy gray full zip hoodie. This actually sold on Mercari. This was from my sister-in-law as well. It sold for $12, and after fees, I made $9.95. And Roxy is also like Billabong and O'Neill and those brands, like a beachy brand. All right, and then Sunday the 5th, I had one sale. I sold the Skims Cozy Knit Black Set, and if you, again, watched my most recent bins haul, I actually found these at the bins, and I sold them from there. I found a few Skims pieces right before I left that day. I found pretty much like 2 sets, but one of the sets were like the pieces were in different sizes, so I sold them separately. These I sold together. They sold really quickly. They sold for $40, and then after fees I made $30.28. And the pants I had were a little bit matted, so I think if they were in better condition, I could have got a little bit more for them. But they were also, those pieces were on sale online, so I couldn't sell them for like too much more. But I am happy with that, especially since they sold quickly. Then Monday, February 6th, I actually didn't have any sales. I think that was the day I went back to the bins, possibly. And then Tuesday, February 7th, I had 5 sales. I sold these Free People braided mules. I actually picked these up at Savers, I want to say, when I was in Connecticut last December. And I just really liked the way they looked. I'm not sure how much I spent, but I remember my mom had a 20% off coupon. So I don't think I spent too much on them. They ended up selling for $45, and after fees I made $36. And I sold these Mother jeans. I love selling the brand Mother. Even their older styles can do well for me still. But if you saw my most recent bins haul, I found these at the bins, and I was so shocked that I found them. They were newer. They said Mother Superior on like the label, so I don't know if this is like a special limited edition thing that they did. I'm not sure. But they were really cute, button fly, distressed, literally like new. Again, I couldn't believe it. And they were size 28, which is probably the biggest size I've ever found in this brand. Usually I find it in very small sizes, but I was so happy. It was a little saturated on Poshmark, so I listed it on the high-end accounts with a shipping discount, and I really wasn't expecting for them to sell for this much or this quickly, but they sold for what I had them listed at, which was $155 plus the shipping discount. And after fees, I made $122.28, and I only spent like $57, I want to say, on that whole bins trip. So that was absolutely amazing. I was so happy. Then I sold this J. Crew schoolboy blazer. I actually picked this up at a local thrift store not too long ago, but I did end up spending like $20 on it because I've heard good things about the schoolboy blazer from J. Crew. Fortunately, it didn't end up selling for too much. I sold it on Deopop for $65, and again, a shipping discount. So after fees, I made $49.54. Then I sold this vintage Levi's denim vest. This was my own. I do think I got it in a THREDUP denim DIY box, but I decided to keep it a long time ago, probably like in 2020, honestly. And I never wore it. So I sold it. Ended up selling for $29, and after fees, I made $23.20. And then the last thing I sold on Tuesday were these Skims pink cozy knit joggers. These, again, I found at the bins recently. I was really hoping to get closer to like in the 40s for these. I had them listed at 50, but I had this one person constantly sending me offers, like only going up like $1, and then if I didn't respond, they just send me the same offer, and they really weren't budging too much. But I did get them up into the 30s, and I just decided to sell them because I did recently get them at the bins, and I didn't know if they were going to sell as well past Valentine's Day, and this was still before Valentine's Day. And I could tell the person really wanted them, so I did accept the offer, which I'm totally fine with. So it ended up selling for $32, and then after fees, I made $25.60. And the reason I think I could have got more for these is because they were in better condition than the other pants. And this was like a limited color, I want to say, and it was sold out online completely, so. But still happy they sold. Then Wednesday the 8th, I had 4 sales. I sold this The Mountain short sleeve t-shirt. It had a baby monkey like print on it. I think it was a men's 2XL. I picked it up because it was The Mountain and I saw it at the bins recently. I really didn't think it was, like when I brought it home, I'm like, why did I even pick this up? I didn't think it was going to sell at all, to be honest, but it actually sold pretty quickly. It only sold for $13, but I'm still happy about that. And after fees, I made $10.05. And that's the nice thing, obviously, about things being so cheap at the bins, because even if I end up selling something and I only make $10, that's like 1/6 of the cost that I spent that I just made up by selling that one thing. I mean, I already had profited, like I said, with the mother jeans, but if I had just sold that one thing so far, I would already have made, again, like 1/6 of my money back, and I got at least 35 things that day. So yeah, that's why I love the bins, and I'll buy like bread and butter things like that I don't think I'll make too much on, but still like $10 on something ends up being like helpful for the profit, if that makes sense. All right, then I sold this J. Crew schoolboy sweater blazer, which I found at the bins, and I only got it. It was like J. Crew factory, but I picked it up because it was a cute style and it was from spring of 2022, so it was really new style. It actually ended up selling, I think, on Mercari. Sold for $40, and then after fees, I made $34.34. Then I sold this J. Jill floral peplum blouse. I actually got this at my most recent bins trip that I haven't posted that video of yet. And this was like the last thing I picked up before I left. Someone had thrown it back. It was J. Jill, it was a 3X, and it was a gorgeous floral pattern. So I knew it was gonna do well. It actually sold probably the same day I listed it, and it was the first thing that sold from that bins trip. It ended up selling for $22, then after fees I made $15.88. And the last thing I sold that day was an Athleta midi dress that I picked up from a local thrift store. I only picked it up because it had been there for a while, so it was like on sale. I did like the style, very classic, very minimalist. But again, something that was actually kind of saturated online, so I didn't know how well it was gonna do, but it ended up selling for $29, and after fees I made $24.76 on Mercari. Then Thursday the 9th, I had 4 sales. I sold these Zara wide leg high-rise jeans. These came from that bins haul that I posted on Friday. I only picked them up because they were wide leg and Zara. Zara does make really trendy things. Usually the best things from Zara are blogger favorite pieces, which can be hard to find. But if I'm at the bins and I see Zara and it's a trendy piece, I will pick it up to sell. And these were really trendy. Wide leg jeans are really trendy. These ended up selling for $20, and after fees I made $13.32, and those were a size 0. So even like smaller sizes will sell, especially if they're trendy enough to be appealing to like young people, because young people tend to be smaller. Then the next thing I sold was this vintage Looney Tunes Tweety Bird short sleeve. This sold on Mercari. This was also my own and really hard to get rid of. I got it years ago at a Buffalo Exchange or something. And I love Tweety Bird. I'm not like obsessed with Tweety Bird, but it has a real nostalgic value to me. I used to have this like Tweety Bird dress thing that I'd wear all the time as a kid. So whenever I see her, I don't know, is it even a girl? I get really sentimental, and I really liked this shirt. It was actually a vintage Six Flags shirt, so it was really cool, but I just never wore it. The print was like too big and it just really wasn't my style, so I knew I had to get rid of it. So it ended up selling for $30 on Mercari, and after fees I made $25.63. Then I sold these Sam Edelman silver heels. These were from a flip lot. Again, I was hoping these would sell quicker and for more, but these took a really long time to sell. I had these before New Year's and was really hoping they would sell for New Year's because they are cute. But they finally sold for $40. After Posh fees, I made $29.32. And then after flip fees, I only made $9.32. Then the last thing I sold on Thursday were Everlane black leather heels. I got these again when I was in Connecticut last December. These, I remember they only wanted like $6 for or something like that, maybe even $5. And then I had that 20% off coupon. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick those up. Everlane, you know, hit or miss, but leather pieces by brands like Everlane and Madewell, I feel like will always do pretty well. And not to mention, ballet shoes are really trendy right now. And these aren't necessarily like ballet flats, they're a heel, but they have that ballet look to them with like the rounded toe and everything. So I think that's why they sold now, but they end up selling for $72 on Poshmark, and after fees I made $57.60. Then Friday the 10th, I had 2 sales. I sold this Wild Fable mini black dress, again from that bins haul I posted on Friday. I really liked this dress. It had a real 90s vibe. I do like to pick up Wild Fable when I'm at the bins, but again, only like really trendy, cute pieces. I wouldn't just pick up anything. Like, I wouldn't pick up any old pair of jeans or shorts or, you know, plain t-shirt. Like, it has to be really trendy and something that I know someone would want to pay money for, because it is just a Target brand. But this was really cute. It sold for $12, and after fees I made $6.37. And the last thing I sold on Friday was a pair of Madewell maternity jeans that I kind of picked up on a whim when I was at a Goodwill. I stay away from Madewell skinny jeans, but since these were maternity, I decided to take the risk. I like to pick up maternity jeans from brands that aren't like maternity brands, if that makes sense. Like Madewell, I've sold Paige maternity jeans that have done really well. Higher end brands that make maternity jeans usually do well for me. But I do see a lot of like, is it like Isabel maternity or something like that? I see that all the time and I wouldn't pick those up. These did sit for a little while. Again, I paid about $10 for them, but they end up selling for $99, which is what I had them listed at. And I'm surprised they actually sold for that price. But after fees, I made $79.20. So that was a great sale. All right, now I'm on the last day that I'm gonna share with you guys this week, February 11th, Saturday. I only had 2 sales. I sold this Bryn Walker linen dress. Bryn Walker, I don't know too much about this brand, but I found it a couple of times at the bins. This dress and then a pair of pants in the past. And it actually gets a lot of attention and does rather well. So if I were to see it like at the bins or something, I would definitely pick it up. This was just a plain black linen dress. It ended up selling for $35 on Poshmark, and after fees I made $28. And then the last thing I sold was this Abercrombie & Fitch floral midi dress. This was my own. I wore it once for a baby shower that I was overdressed for. But I got this dress because I was so excited. I wanted to dress up, and I thought the other people would dress up and no one else really did. But anyway, it was cute, but it was too big on me. So I just decided to resell it because I knew I was going to wear it again. It ended up selling for $48, and after fees I made $41.31, and that was on Mercari. So those are my first 2 weeks of February sales. A lot better than I remember them being, actually. I think the following 2 weeks, or like week, I guess, because I haven't gone through this week yet, was a lot slower. So I think I'll try and get back to the bins hopefully sometime this week. I'm not going to go tomorrow because it's a holiday. I think it's going to be busy. And it's also, like I mentioned, me and my husband's 7-year dating anniversary. And we're going to go into the city, maybe go to the MoMA or something, and have a really good day. Hopefully the weather is nice. But yeah, I hope you guys are having great sales. I would love to know how your sales are going and how your sourcing is going and all that good stuff. Especially if you feel like it's picked up since January, or if you feel like it's slowed down. Again, I kind of feel like it's been slowing down, but I did have a good week or 2, at least at the beginning of February, which is great. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great time sourcing and selling this week. I hope you had a great Valentine's Day, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye!